Welcome to a market closing live stream. Boy, oh boy, this market has shifted. That's bad for the stock shift, but it's really good for everyone else. Very, very good for everyone else. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on in the market. We know that the stock shift is shifting down like 15% because of its bond sale, raising lots of money. We know they are planning on spending a ton of money on advertising to increase their business and their market share. Quite frankly, it could be the perfect way for them to get lots of money, spend lots of money on their business, and finally get Wall Street's attention. I don't know, maybe not. Love shift. One day they'll be valued appropriately. But for today, they're down 15%. So if you're looking for a buy the dip opportunity, it's dipping all right. In the meantime, we do have the rest of the stock market pretty much having firework explosions and having a really happy time. Speaking of really happy time, well, take a look. We got Virgin Galactic. It's up almost 27% today. Actually, it's almost up 28% today. What an incredible rocket ship we've got here. I mean, we got so low on Virgin here for a while. How low did we go? We were down. Yeah, we were down at the $15 range. I mean, this is about to be a double here just in the last like 3 or 4 days. AMC, we saw that volume go nuts this morning. The volume has clearly led to the AMC share price to really pop a little higher. Oh, let's go into the minute here. Yep, there we go. Sitting right now, trying to decide which direction to go here into the close, but it is up 13.58. If we go to 5-minute, volume is, probably it's actually a little accelerated for an end of the day here. End of the day still being close to 1 million in volume. That's not bad. Certainly helping keep this this movement up. 13.3% right now. Very, very good. Almost 13.37. Ethereum back up nicely here, 35.39. Very nice movement back to the upside. Incredible dip we had yesterday, but very much a bull run today. Makes you wonder, is this going to be a sort of a fake out? Is it going to fall again? I don't know. We'll see. We do have Beyond Meat up a full 10%. This had briefly dropped under $100 per share. We've got Square. Square's actually over here up almost 6% today. Wait, where is it? There it is. Square's almost up 6%, sitting at about 211. Did fall below 200 for a brief period of time. Voyager at 18. A lot of green today. Whole lot of green. Roku, Neo. Tesla's up 5.23. Slightly red here into the end of the day, but phenomenal run back to the green side here on Tesla. We'll see how long this subsists. I mean, the longer Tesla's in the hole, the more I get made fun of by people who like making videos about me when Tesla's doing poorly. I can only imagine how Kathy Wood feels. When things are going well for her stocks, oh, she's a god, she's a god. When her stocks are performing poorly, oh, she's a has-been. That's just toxic. It's like, no, stocks don't only go straight up. It's shocking. Anyway, then we've got Twitter at 5%. Invitae is sitting up over here as well. Pinterest, 4%. Lemonade, 4%. Some phenomenal moves to the green side. Very, very well today. Palantir should probably be moving a little bit more than it is right now. It's sitting at about 2.67%, 21.31. Did have a phenomenal interview, in case you haven't caught it yet. Phenomenal interview with UWMC, United Wholesale Mortgage. They, at the moment, are up about 1.86% on the day here. Great company, comparison to Rocket Mortgage. All of the mortgage industries or mortgage-related stocks have kind of been suffering a little bit on the market, but something to keep an eye on. Then we've got here's Shift. We talked about Shift. We got Upstart. Wow, Upstart, remember, is a momentum mover. It does this. We warned about this last week, that Upstart is one of those stocks that it do really, really well. And then as soon as you get that reversal with traders, the thing goes to the toilet. Usually the toilet for Upstart is somewhere around 100. Sometimes it's like, between 90 to 110. And then usually it sets up for these wild swings again back to like 130, 140. It's nuts. No guarantees, but so far it's kind of doing what we would expect Upstart to do. It is a momentum stock. We got Mind Medicine down 5.5% today. That's a bummer. I really enjoyed my interview. The CEO, JR, Mind Medicine, great company. Blink Charging's down about 4.3. kind of surprised the Chargers are down today. I would have expected the Chargers to be green today. Yeah, see Charge Points down 1.6. You've got Churchill Capital down a couple percent. We've got Etsy down 1%. You know, there's really no, it's almost like there's no rhyme or reason in terms of why. You just, and we've lost the ability to really group stocks for a while here. But I just find, I mean, look, you got Macy's down 1.2%. It's Nordstrom's pretty much flat. Very kind of bizarre in terms of what's determining individual stocks to move up or towards the downside. Who knows? But we've got about 16 minutes to the close. Let's go ahead and look at CoinMarketCap. Looks, by the way, like, Elon Musk just tweeted here. Spoke with North American Bitcoin miners. They committed to publish current and planned renewable usage and to ask miners worldwide to do so. Potentially promising. Ooh, we've heard of this potentially promising line before. Let's go ahead and actually pull that tweet up so you all can see it. All right, Elon Musk. Let's get you a viewpoint here. So, yep, here's the latest tweet from Elon Musk. Spoke with North American Bitcoin miners. They committed to publish current and planned renewable usage. You know, it's not a surprise that they included in this plan, because I do believe that current is probably very low as a percentage. So this makes sense. And I'm probably like, hey, what's your current? Oh, well, you know, can we get you the numbers on current and planned? Right? So would not surprise me to see that we end up getting a current and planned announcement here from U.S. miners, pressuring worldwide miners to do the same as well, which is good. I mean, in some sense, it's actually a push for, hey, by the way, you know, you need some Tesla solar panels, need some Tesla batteries, we can hook you up. So go Elon. Knows how to play the game. Buy the dip. What if he came out now and he's like, oh, by the way, I bought the dip too. You know, Tesla bought the dip. So let's take a peek over. Where is it? Let's take a peek. Where was it? Oh, here it is. Here we go. Once the economy is fully reopened, some economists project massive spending. Where do you see yourself? We ran this poll this morning, and probably shouldn't have written spend like crazy. Should have probably just been spend more. But it looks like, honestly, most of you, and again, probably skewed audience. I think we've all been working together very well at making sure we don't go spend nuts here. But, you know, take a peek here. You've got, once the economy is fully reopened, most of you still plan to stay frugal. It's incredible. Oh, I guess I forgot to put the quiet mode on the chat. There we go. My bad. Donate to the Meet Kevin campaign. Well, thank you, JL, for saying that. Yes, you could donate to the Meet Kevin campaign by going to meetkevin.com/donate. We need lots of help to get Gavin Newsom out of office. If you know somebody, by the way, that has really good political connections that wants to volunteer or work for their campaign, you know, campaign management style, digital management, whatever, economists, send an email to staff@meetkevin.com. All right. So what else? Let's go to CoinMarketCap and see some of the other things that are going on here. CoinMarketCap. And then I do want to also take a peek at the 10-year Treasury. I want to go to the CNBC one. Okay, down again slightly here, 1.61%. And on CoinMarketCap, we are almost back to 40,000 on Bitcoin. Nice rally here. Almost just over 2,600 on Ethereum. Very good. Cardano, 1.54. Very good. We have, let's take a peek here. Peek. It looks to me like, if we go to the 1-minute chart, big movement here off Elon Musk's tweet again. Very, very common expected reaction off of an Elon Musk tweet to see a surge and then sort of a rebalancing here. So not a surprise. We see it on Bitcoin. We see it on Ethereum. We see it, I imagine, on Doge here. Yep, we see it on Doge as well. Very, very, very good. All right. What else do we have here? Okay. Give me 1 second here. Here we go. Okay. So, yeah, but it actually does look like we're holding a little bit here. See, the green candles continue to grow here. So very, very well. Okay, Upstart still moving down about in that 10% range. Talked about shift at the start. Churchill Capital down a couple of percent. Let's see how Tesla's moving after the Elon tweet here. Pretty stable. Not much movement at Tesla and really the last. Yeah, no. Yeah, almost no movement here in this segment here on Tesla. So kind of not terribly much of a surprise. But hey, you get good news at Tesla, not terribly much of a movement. You get bad news at Tesla, it falls. Welcome to the stock market. So what else do we have? Interesting. Michael Saylor just posted too. Oh, we'll check that out. Bodyguard just donated $50. Well, thank you for that. Make sure if you're donating to campaign, you go to meetkevin.com/donate. Thank you for your donation to the chat. First time I'm voting, and it's going to you, telling all my friends about you, man. Keep up the good work. Oh, well, thank you for that. That's super nice. I can't take naps. Get out of here. All right, let's see what else we have here. So, market powerful today. Big powerful movement here on the market. Let's go see how the broader indices are doing too. We could just do a quick little search here, like Dow Stock. I know it's not a stock for those people thinking about the comments. So the Dow's up about 0.67. The S&P 500 is up about just over 1%. NASDAQ 1.16%. NASDAQ's up about 0.71. And the Russell small cap is up about 0.8%. So the indices all broadly moving up approximately 0.8 to 1.2%. Certainly nowhere near the upside movement that we're seeing in some individual stocks with 5-6%. But then again, that is to be expected, given that the indices also didn't fall 40% like some stocks not to be named. Tesla.
Content created by TikTok stars. TikTok creators will also be hosting new playlists on Sirius's Pandora platform. The social media disruptor's Midas touch when it comes to music is so strong that this viral video hit featuring Fleetwood Mac's 1977 classic Dreams becoming so popular, the song actually climbed back onto Billboard's top 10 list last October. For those of us who remember 1977, this is great because I'm really sick of hearing people say that Phil Mickelson is aged and yet won at age 50. He's young. Can we stop calling him old? Don't forget to check out my Morning Market Minute on TikTok. We've got all of your overnight headlines. Every single morning we do a quick 1-minute thing. I just jump out and put on my Adidas jacket or whatever the heck. I don't even brush my hair, as you can tell. Follow me on TikTok at RedFoxLiz for your early morning business update. We call it the Morning Market Minute. UPenn Health Systems is the latest employer to require its workers to get vaccinated. The announcement is being met with some pushback from critics who say it encroaches
Let's go ahead and pull back. I do want to see what's happening here to the crypto space. Following Elon's tweet here, Elon's suggestion about more commitment towards green here. Looks like we are still running here. Look at Bitcoin here. Very, very nice run on Bitcoin. Solid run. Doge is taking off right now. Absolutely incredible. And Ethereum's doing a climb as well here. This tweet is big. Jacob Brown donating $5 on the predicted odds here for the campaign. Hey, did Elon tweet again? Let's see what he got. All right, let's go back to Elon here. All right, Elon, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? 2 tweets in the last hour? If you'd like to help develop Doge, oh my gosh, look at that. If you'd like to help develop Doge, please submit ideas on GitHub. Oh, man, and he links to Reddit. Wow. Please submit ideas. That's incredible. Please submit ideas on GitHub and Reddit. Wow. Okay. Love seeing that. So 2 big pumps here. One, a commitment by North American miners, which generally includes Canadian miners, right? North American miners would be like Hut 8. We've done a few interviews with Hut 8. Spoke with North American Bitcoin miners. They committed to publish current and planned renewable usage to ask miners worldwide to do so as well. Got 7 minutes to market close here. And a comment here about Doge and developing Doge to maybe solve some of the issues of a Doge. Very incredible. That could call for a movement here. So let's take a peek at, let's see here. Let's go to our sticks. We've got Doge showing a first red here. I mean, we did a very nice run here from about 33 cents to 36 and a bit. That does indicate about a 10% movement here. Pretty incredible. We've also got, and we got our first red candlestick here on the minute, 5 minute. It's just a big red, or I'm sorry, big green candlestick. Ethereum's climbing very well on this news as well. 2660 right now, with Bitcoin at 39.6. Thank you for the comment on making future schools happen. Would love to see it happen. Carlsbad here showing us, well, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So remember, meetkevin.com/donate for campaign donations. Need all the help we can get to get Newsom out of office. Bring in some real change to our society. But anyway, more importantly, right now we're focusing on stocks, and Bitcoin continues to run here. We're about to hit 40,000 on Bitcoin here. Pulling back again a little bit here. No, not quite. Getting some resistance close to that 40,000 level. Getting some resistance on Doge as well. Ethereum, though, not seeing as much resistance. Ethereum doing very well here at 26.57 at the moment. All righty. And then we have... what else? Same kind of losing plays that we've seen throughout the day here today. Ford's still sitting down 1.88%. That's pretty much exactly what it was doing this morning. Enphase is at 140, still on the downside though. Slightly red here. Tattooed Chef down about 0.25%, sitting about $20.40. Peloton's back to 101. Coinbase is actually up to 226. Still pretty dang low. It does look like Lordstown Motors is reporting after the bell, so we'll take a peek at what Lordstown has. Also see what other earnings we have to expect. So big moves, though, here. Doge, Virgin Galactic, Ethereum, Bitcoin. AMC settling down a little bit as we lead into the close. Not uncommon to see a little bit of profit taking before the end of the day. Tesla has red candlestick now towards the end of the day. Now up only 4.5%, was up as high as approximately 6%. I wouldn't say it was like 5.8 or something like that. Anyway, another thing that we can do, though, is we can jump in here and go to earnings whisper/calendar. Let's quickly make sure we have our eye on what's reporting today. Agora for API, the back end of Clubhouse, and Ride probably being the bigger ones to pay attention to. Let's give CNBC a listen here on Lordstown.
Tesla back above 600, where it hasn't been, it hasn't closed above for a while.
No, it hasn't. I mean, it was certainly sitting right near the sort of relevant levels, like 200-day average. Did bounce off of that. I do think it makes sense that, again, as we talked about this sense of we dodged bullets and we didn't have a broader liquidation type event, that the growthy areas are getting a little bit of a reprieve. Very, very early in this repair process, if even that's what started right now. So I think you have to kind of keep the whole group on a bit of a short leash. But yes, a bounce in Tesla, but the broader EV move looks pretty cleaned out, you would think. And you know, Lordstown at a $1.7 billion market cap and basically back to, you know, where the SPAC merger happened. It's telling you that expectations for the secondary and tertiary players has really been beaten down quite a bit since the peak.
Kind of an interesting day, Lindsay, because the top three performers in the S&P are MGM Resorts, Caesars, and Norwegian Cruise Lines. Classic reopening plays, casinos and cruises. And then right up there, you've got Facebook and Alphabet and Twitter and a lot of the stay-at-home plays. So are you distinguishing between those groups for investment strategies? And what makes a day like today where they can rally together?
Well, I think what makes today work is if you look at those specific securities that you called out, they have all taken a break or a breather over the last couple months, while stocks within the financial, energy, and material space have really taken off. So these guys are now, people are coming in and buying the dip on these.
Buying the dip. What do we say? Eventually you get the re-rotation. Eventually you find that prices have just come down too much for it not to make sense to buy things like Tesla. Now, I know there are plenty of people like, oh, but Kevin, Tesla's valuation. I can debate all day and all night about Tesla's valuation. Just not going to do it right now. You know my belief on Tesla. Okay, so, but I do recommend, keep Tesla under a quarter of your portfolio. Okay, you don't want to let it get out of hand. Okay, so we got 2 minutes left to the closing bell. I do want to quickly shout this out here right as we get into the closing bell. And then we'll pull up the sticks again here for the closing bell. We have a new sponsor. So shout out to Public, today's sponsor. Public is an investing app where you can buy and sell stocks, follow investors, and share ideas. I've created my profile at Meet Kevin, and I'm excited to buy stocks. Really like the user interface there. Public is a wonderful place to invest, and you can follow people's portfolios. So that'll be interesting to see exactly if y'all like that on Public and like following. I think it'll be really exciting because you do get to kind of compare and comment on other folks' stocks and their trades and their ideas. So I've been just fascinated with the social aspect of it. And so make sure to go to Public. And the best way to sign up for your free app is by going to public.com/meetkevin. I've got it linked down in the description. I'll be making some purchases there. So those of you that follow me on Public will have special access to seeing those. So at the very least, go to meetkevin.com/public. And if I buy something there, you'll see it there, which I will be buying something there. And super excited to see how that social experiment works. It's super fun. So I'm jumping up and down about it. Yeah, go to go to public.com/meetkevin. That's the link, public.com/meetkevin. And you will get one free stock for signing up. Okay, we've got the closing bell coming on now. Let's go to the sticks right afterwards.
Near the bottom of the pile, but in positive territory. The 10-year yield, 160, pulling back a little bit. The VIX nicely lower, 18.5, below 20. Dollar down a little bit, oil up nicely, and gold up slightly.
We can never hear them. When are they going to learn that we can't hear them?
A little bit into the close there. Dow up 0.5%, and the Nasdaq up 1.4.
It's pretty bad. I may as well. Oh, here we go. Now we can hear them again.
Strong finish there. Welcome back, everyone, to Closing Bell. If you're just joining us, I'm Sarah Eisen, along with Wilfred Frost and Mike Santoli, CNBC senior markets commentator. Take a look at how we finished up the day on Wall Street. The Dow closed higher by 185 points, so it wasn't quite the session high, but still overall pretty strong performance, and it was broad-based performance. You saw that in the sector breakdown within the S&P. By the way, the Dow's biggest positive contribution today was Microsoft, speaking to the strength in big tech. There's the S&P 500, up 1%, which means it closed less than 1% off its all-time high. Hard to believe we've regained all of that momentum. Microsoft also had the most positive impact on the SPY, the S&P ETF. Nasdaq gaining 1.5% today. Technology was a lead. The two best performing sectors were within the tech complex. And the Russell 2000 index of small caps up a little more than 0.5% or 0.6%, third positive day in a row. Transports also gained almost 1% on the day. So overall, pretty broad-based rally. Coming up this hour, We're kicking off our Summer Unmasked series, where we'll be speaking with leaders from industry.
Summer Unmasked series. I don't know. I'm more interested right now in making sure we get into those earnings on Lordstown. And we also want to get into earnings on APY. APY is the back end of Public, or not a back end of Public. I'm getting all tripped up here. Back end of Clubhouse. Now, Clubhouse has seen some big old competition thanks to what we've had with Twitter Spaces. So we'll see how that one performs. But anyway, we'll be standing by for those earnings in just a moment. I'm pulling them up.
Partly about the U.S. reopening after cases really did crash, COVID cases domestically here in the U.S. But that trend really peaked in March, the pure domestic reopening trade. I think today was much more about, markets gone sideways for 5 or 6 weeks, seemed to have dodged a couple of threats over the past couple of weeks. We got this crypto blow up, no real net damage. And so therefore, people who had gotten a little bit defensive.
Okay, Lordstown comes out. Lordstown. Lordstown falls as much as 8% after earnings report. Lordstown Motor sales, $0. We would expect that. Loss coming in at 72 cents. Sees CapEx of $250 to $275 million for the year. Operating loss in Q1 at $106 million. Obviously, not expecting sales, so I'm not exactly sure what the market was really expecting here. Lordstown's not at the position of selling units yet, but the shares are currently down. Let's take a peek. Where do we go? There we go. Currently, we're actually down about 4.45. There it goes, 6%. It's pretty volatile right now. We saw them drop as much as 8% here on the hard candle. Looks like we're trending back towards that range right now, down about 6.52%, 6.6%, roughly here. So we'll see how Lordstown behaves here. But again, I mean, what could you expect? The company is not producing revenues yet. It's kind of like, when a Churchill produces their earnings, it's like, what earnings? We're not at a point yet where we have earnings. What kind of earnings report can you have? Thank you, this girl, for shouting out Public. This girl here says, Public is awesome. Glad you're on there, Kevin. It's like Facebook for stocks. I think that's a great way to put it. I would agree with that. So yeah, make sure to go to public.com/meetkevin. I also made a redirect in case you're used to going to meetkevin.com/public. You could do that too. It all goes to the same place, but you'll get a free stock for signing up, which is pretty cool. So once you sign up, you can download the app. That's probably the easiest way to do it, is just download the app, sign up. Shift did not end as bad as it kind of was during the rest of the day. It was down 15% at one point, ended down about 11.51%, though it did shave off a little bit more in the aftermarket here. It's at about $6.55. By the way, just so you know, this price right here is where Shift was when the CEOs started buying their own shares, well, the company shares, the public shares, back themselves. So they were buying shares at around $6.50. Just keep that in mind. I think that's a good hint. I don't know. Who knows? Not financial advice. I'm just a dude on YouTube. I mean, look at the coffee cup I have. I mean, come on here. It says I'm not effing leaving. So I'll take it for what it's worth. Clubhouse is that one night stand. Oh no. Obviously a slam here on Clubhouse's staying power. Our relationship with Clubhouse is not going to last that long, is what you're saying. Okay. You said it, not me. Churchill Capital down 1.89%, pretty much flat in the afters. Etsy still down 1.42%. So is Matterport down about 1.37% in the afters, during the day. Most things, though, really held up quite well today. I think we're more focused on the stocks that were up today than down. Certainly, if I would imagine most of our portfolios should be pretty green today. I don't personally look at my portfolio. I buy, and I have not looked in. It's been probably about 3 weeks since I've looked. And it's really great because I just look, I go, hey, when things are cheap, I buy a little bit. And when I have money. So Ethereum is balancing now around this 2650 level. We're kind of bobbing around a little bit here. Dogecoin pulled back again here. I do wonder why. I wonder if Elon had a follow-up or something like that. Let's give it a peek here. Let's go Twitter Elon Musk, which, remember, you can follow me on Twitter. Real Meet Kevin. So let's see here. If you want, no follow-up tweets here. It just looks like some of the euphoria around this mention has subsided. So Doge moving more towards the downside here, balancing now around 35. Bitcoin's really struggling to get above that 40,000 level. Look at that resistance hit right here, 39,979. Really hitting those psychological peaks here. Certainly get that. Buy the dip, then go to sleep. Unless you're Kevin, then buy the dip and go stream. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. People taking profits. Yeah, you get to those psychological levels, definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely do a video in the future showing off Public's UI as well. I think that'll be fun. We'll go through the UI together. But yeah, go to public.com/meetkevin. You'll get a free stock. I have to say, like, if I was going to design an app, that's the way I would want my UI to look. Which I think Weeble's trying to compete now because they did a UI update on their phones, their phone apps, but it's still not close to how smooth the Public's really feels. So really good. All right, so I want to see this comment here. CNBC is saying Lordstown will need to raise additional capital. Let's listen in.
So it looks like there's a few bumps along the road as far as the production schedule, which is something we expected, but we did expect at least a the company to meet its third quarter production guidance, but this is pretty much below expectations.
So what are you going to be listening out for on the call, and as to weigh up if you're going to keep your $35 price target or not?
All right, what I'm going to be listening to the call is the update on why the production is so low, and are they going to be able to meet the full capacity of 60,000 vehicles? That's what's key. And also, any update as far as prototypes, any testing, any update in pre-production. You can expect them, of course, to start increasing CapEx, but the fact that originally they purchased a General Motors plant and they just had to retrofit it is something a little bit disconcerting, that margins might be further downward. So that's some of the things that I'm looking at on the call.
Well, besides,
I don't know how prepared this person was here on getting ready to talk here about this, but okay, let's keep going here. So let's see what else we have in the aftermarket here. We do have API getting ready to report, so I'm going to pull up and see if API has come through. Let's see here. There we go. So API, it's earnings for, nope, still no report on API, but we do have Lordstown out. A little bit more from Lordstown. Lordstown sees liquidity at 50 to 75 million, or really needs probably around 200 million. So, the loss was worse than expected here. Loss was 72 cents. The consensus was 28 cents. That's not so good for Ride. Yeah, that's going to hurt. Still no earnings here on API, but let's go ahead and take a look at the sticks and see how some of the other coins are doing. We'll also take a look and see how Ride is behaving here. Remember to go to metkevin.com/public and get your free stock signing up with Public. Okay, Lordstown down about 5.48% in the afters. Let's just sort by winners and losers in the afters. So much to the loss of Ride or Lordstown Motors, we actually have a rival up 3.6%. BTX moving up a little here in the after hours. Hydro Farm moving up a bit in the after hours, much lower than Hydro Farm used to be. It used to be in the 90s. Golly. Towards the downside, we got Express and Microvision. Express down almost 3%, Microvision down about 1.5%. Dave & Buster's down 1% in the after hours. Let's see how Tesla's behaving. It was starting to fall into the close. Looks like it's flat into the close with a 4.4% gain on the day. Let's take a peek at CoinMarketCap, see some of the other things that we have going on here. All right, no new tweets from Elon. Well, we'll double check at least. Let's see. We know he's had his phone. Nope, no new tweets here. So though we left off on the two tweets about speaking with North American Bitcoin miners committing to publish current and planned renewable energy usage, along with if you want to help develop Doge, post your ideas. All right. So let's now hop on over to CoinMarketCap. See what we got over here. Make sure we got the latest version on. Bitcoin sitting at 39,565, Ethereum 2638, Cardano 1.58. Nice moves to the upside again on Cardano. Sat at 1.16 yesterday. Dogecoin sitting at 0.357. Trying to get to that 36 again. We got, what else we have? Here's some others to recognize. Shiba Inu is up 36% today. It was down 33% on the week, or at least might still be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it still is down 36% on the week. Okay. Let's go. Let's take a peek and see what some of the other news outlets are covering. Let's see what Kudlow's got to say, for example.
We've had these theories. There's been some information.
COVID politics versus science. All right. Yeah, we'll try Bloomberg Live. And given that CNBC is on commercial, we'll give Bloomberg Live a shot here. Bloomberg Live's usually got some great things. In the meantime, while we wait for Bloomberg Live to come up, taking a peek at sticks again here. Lordstown actually recovering in the after hours. Take a look at that. Lordstown now only down about 3.8%. This is before the earnings call, but you are getting what was potentially an overreaction at first here of this 8.5% decline to now only slightly less than a 4% decline. Let's go ahead and listen in. Bloomberg.
Technology to coming out of a global pandemic. But our next guest says that the stock market may not be so similar to the Roaring 20s. Joining us now, our Bloomberg opinion columnist, Nir Kaiser. Why not?
Hi, Taylor. Yeah, I think that there is one huge difference, underappreciated in my opinion, between 1920 and today. And that is in 1920, at the end of 1920, the U.S. stock market was the cheapest it had been on record before or since. I'm looking specifically at the cyclically adjusted PE ratios. And, you know, we have a record that goes back about 140 years. The lowest it had ever gone is roughly 5 times earnings, and that's late 1920. Now, fast forward to today, and today that CAPE ratio sits at 37, which is the second highest. The highest was 44. That was at the top of the dot-com bubble. And that doesn't mean necessarily that a crash is coming, obviously, or, you know, any of that. But what it does mean is the CAPE has been very good at telling you what the returns are going to be over multi-year periods. And so what that's telling you is during the 1920s, you got a return of 15% from the S&P. What is the functional equivalent of the S&P? 10% of that came from dividend yield and just valuation expansion. But today, you just can't expect the same thing because with valuations where they are, dividend yields are roughly 1.5% on the S&P.
Right.
And, you know, valuations have no room to expand. And so you're just not going to get that same kind of return. If we're lucky, valuations will hang where they are. Earnings and dividends will add up to whatever, 5 to 10% a year. But it'll be nothing like the Roaring 20s.
Okay, so if that's for the broader market, what about within certain areas? Could we see a Roaring 20s-esque type of scenario for certain value sectors?
It's certainly possible. You know, one of the things that, you know, value has not done well, as everybody knows, relative to growth for many, many years. And it staged the comeback beginning in November of last year. And so, you know, because value has done so poorly, the valuation gap between value and growth was historically high by some measures as it has ever been. But importantly, that doesn't mean value is cheap. And those are two different things. And so while I think value will do better than growth, I'm not sure that as we sit here today, value is cheap enough, not even value, to warrant the kind of boom that we saw in stocks during the 1920s.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go cross-asset because you end your story with saying that we shouldn't perhaps be surprised that in the day that we're looking at crypto and meme stocks that maybe you're not getting as much juice out of your general benchmarks. But I'm looking at crypto near right now, up 17% on Bitcoin. We get another leg higher. This is the best day for Bitcoin of the year, so says our producer Tim Andriacci. So I'm interested in your take on where this means money gets pushed to in this event. If we're not going to see a Roaring 20s for equities, do we still see these other more speculative trades do well?
I mean, it's certainly possible. There's no reason why, you know, all of this, the money that's pouring into all these speculative investments, if you want, speculative may be too harsh, but all the money that's flowing into things like SPACs and Bitcoin and NFTs and everything else, there's really no reason why that should necessarily stop. I mean, ultimately, what stops these things is that people lose a lot of money. Having said that, you know, the thing that makes Bitcoin different is Bitcoin's been around for many, many years. And the volatility that we're seeing in recent days, yes, it's high, but I don't know that it's any higher than it's been before. I mean, if you look, when I wrote about Bitcoin, I looked at the volatility of it, and it was historic. It has been historically 15 times higher than the volatility of the S&P, which by itself is considered a very volatile asset class. And so I just don't think the volatility is going to dissuade anyone. I think if there's going to be a washout in Bitcoin, it's going to be because some cataclysmic event shows up that says, oh my God, we were just wrong about cryptocurrencies. I personally don't see that, and I just don't see that the volatility ultimately scares anybody away. So I think it's just going to be more up and down.
The biggest difference, though, that I see between these 20s and the previous 20s is you have a central bank that is more involved than ever before. Is that a risk to your thesis?
Well, it's funny, Taylor, because I'm not sure which way that cuts, right? The fact that the Fed is there. I mean, I think the fact that the Fed is there obviously has learned all the historical lessons, is willing to intervene aggressively as we learned last year. I think that's an argument for valuations not going down. But it's not going to juice the dividend yield. So if you just do the math, you know, you're stuck with a 1.5% dividend yield unless valuations come down. Let's assume the Fed is able to keep this whole thing going. Then you're just asking a question of what earnings growth is going to look like, because that's going to be the third variable. You know, historically, earnings have grown by roughly 4 to 5% a year. It just happens that during the last decade, they've grown by 10% a year, which has happened before. but it has never happened that earnings have grown in the high single digits for 2 decades in a row. So sure, could we imagine a scenario where the Fed keeps asset prices high, you get a 1.5% dividend yield, and you get another 7, 8, 9% from earnings growth, you get the long-term average of their S&P? Sure, that's possible. But if history is any guide, you're really looking at 1.5% dividend yield plus a 5% earnings growth. You're more in the range of 4 to 6%, assuming the Fed can keep this going up.
All right. Thanks so much to Bloomberg opinion columnist Nir Kaisar. Great column out on the Bloomberg today.
This guy had some really cool perspective. I really liked what he had to say. I don't personally like using the Shiller PE because I think the Shiller PE overinflates the impact of earnings from companies that have lost a lot of earnings and underestimates the earnings for the big giants. But hey, you know what? Fair. The Shiller PE is at all-time highs. Now more things we can talk about in that. But here I'll drop it in here. Here's just an example of the Shiller PE ratio right now. It's at pretty much near all-time highs, with the exception of the .com bubble and the Great Depression that began over here with Black Tuesday. So yeah, I mean, just looking at this chart without context, it's a scary chart. So it's not wrong to reference this. Does that mean this is not going to be the Roaring 20s? Hey, got some good points. You got a lot of growth potential likely built into pricing. So it's got some points. All right. So what do we got over here? All right. What do we got over here? No, it's inflation adjusted is about that chart. So keep that in mind. All right. So what else do we have here? All stocks. We have Cinemark down 3.71 here in the afters now. For some reason, Hydrofarm's up 2.9. API must have reported. API is up about 2% right now. Let me go ahead and pull that up really quick. Which, remember, if you want a free stock, go to public.com/meetkevin and get yourself a free stock. You could follow me on there at meetkevin. And we'll place a buy on Public, so you get to see what that is soon. So stay tuned. If you want to see what that is, go to public.com/meetkevin. So anyway, API, I actually still don't see earnings. I still have an indication of options implying a 13.4% move in share prices. So the fact that we're going up always makes me wonder, hey, who just leaked something to one of their buddies? So maybe that's too jaded to think that way. Riot and Marathon both up. Riot's up 13.6%. Marathon's up 10.8% today. Both down in the after hours. Riot down 2.12. Marathon down 1.56 in the afters. Tattooed Chef really rubber banding around 20 here, going back to 20.25. On the green side, I'll go ahead and share the sticks too. On the green side, we've got, let's see here, National Beverage at 1.52% to the up. Got Fastly up about 0.6%. Churchill Capital 0.3% to the upside in the after hours here. But most things today did very, very well in the market throughout the day. Some minor losses. Etsy, CCIV down 1.5% to 2%. Tesla, pretty decent performer today for the sell-offs we've had. Flat in the after hours, sitting at about 606, up about 4.4%. Let's listen to the state of economy for a moment. What do you got about the state of the economy?
With food is going up, or construction companies that are trying to buy lumber, et cetera. So inflation is a big problem. Then they have a problem with this paying out the workers not to work. You have 8.1 million unfilled jobs. A lot of that is because people are staying at home. And then you have regulations. There are all kinds of new regulations that are coming down the pike, particularly with regard to green energy programs. And you also, by the way, have taxes that are coming. God knows how that's going to affect small business. But the big guys, the big Silicon Valley companies, they're doing great. They're making money hand over foot. They were doing great during the pandemic. Let's face it. That's why California had this tremendous surplus. Silicon Valley is doing great. So we're moving, ironically. Democrats claim they're for the little guy against the corporations. The corporations are in much better shape than the little guys.
Yes. And, Joe Biden and the Democrats for decades, David, have talked a good line about wanting to support the little guy and champion them and put through economic policies that would support them And their objective has always been, at least stated, to reduce income inequality, reduce poverty, and reduce unemployment.
All right, we're going to go and pull off the coverage here. Let's go see what else we have here. I'm trying to see, looking for those API numbers. Still not getting those. It might be scheduled for a little bit later. So we might have to circle back on API, do the Jen Psaki circle back. So what else? Yeah, Lordstown still rotating, now rotating to the downside again. Was trying to move up there for a little bit, but rotating to the downside, 7.14% to the downside. You've got Arrival is to the upside, 1.99%. We have, let's see here. Yeah, no, otherwise things pretty stable in the after hours. I think the big thing to be watchful of right now is going to be how cryptos move. We've obviously got good news out of Elon Musk, but look, Bitcoin's kind of softening again here. So maybe hitting 40 or getting close to 40 was maybe an opportunity to exit for some again. Same thing on Ethereum, same thing on Doge. So could be some leftover fear here where people are like, that's it, here's my opportunity to get out. Not sure. Be really interesting to track. So we shall see. So let's see. Someone says, I respectfully disagree. The Shiller PE adjusts past earnings from inflation using. That's right. The Shiller PE is inflation adjusted, which in my opinion will take another year to catch up. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure if you're disagreeing with somebody else in the comments or me. One thing to keep in mind with the Shiller PE is outside of inflation. You want to consider the fact that earnings right now have a dent in them from average earnings at companies that lead to generally higher earnings in the S&P 500, like restaurants, stores, the non-tech companies. Those earnings have declined and they're starting to come back. While at the same time, you have this higher valuation segment in the S&P 500, the tech sector, which generally earns a much higher premium than it ever has had in history for future earnings, because we do have things now like software as a service. Software as a service. I mean, you have this huge sectoral shift. You didn't have software as a service, 50 years ago or 80 years ago or 100 years ago. There's no such thing as, we spend money once and we get recurring fees over and over again, and it costs us nothing extra to maintain that customer. I mean, maybe there's something, but I'm trying to think. And outside of software as a service, I don't see that. And you have a lot of that built into S&P valuations. And so that's why there are some fundamental issues with the Shiller PE. Maybe it's worth a more detailed video. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah. All right, folks. Well, that about does it for now. Thank you so very much for being here. It's always fun to have a market closing live stream. Folks, we will see you in the very next video. Thanks so much. Stay tuned. Get your free stock with Public, public.com/meetkevin. Follow me on